Introducing Color Space, a stock photo platform dedicated to showcasing images of Black people. Whether you're a professional photographer or you just know your way around a smartphone, sign up, submit your photos, and start earning through your creativity. Visit www.colorspace.co.za.
Hey, it's Coco Sam.
Just keep on.
No, the setting is back to factory settings, but it's only for this week.
For sure.
Because of other commitments that we had to do. So we couldn't go to our new spot, but you'll be seeing a lot of that spot some more.
Definitely, you'll be seeing that spot.
Otherwise, Umnandi.
Give me 90 with the Springboks one. I'm still buzzing off that win, to be honest.
Oh, man.
They just arrived today to give us even more fever.
At OR.
Yeah, at OR. It was such a beautiful thing. I wish I was there, but I was actually working. I saw Sia there lifting the trophy. I mean, look, one of those pictures is going to be iconic.
When he ran in.
Yes.
My man, that was just amazing. I think last time and we saw Abosi, and we were with other people.
Other people, yeah. But this year too, they're actually doing a Springboks tour. Yeah, so on Thursday, 2nd November, they're in Pretoria, Johannesburg, which is at FNB Stadium.
Via Vils.
They have to go past Madiv's house for the
you have to see the Divs, bro. it was cool.
Yeah, but yeah, you guys can definitely check out the schedule. But they do be doing the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. And then I think in 2014 they'll be doing Bloemfontein, Nelson Mandela Bay. But yeah, that's a Springbok tour coming up. I mean,
I had peeps from Limpopo tweeting, what about us? We have 9 provinces.
Limpopo must come up, dog. They have got no choice. They must come up to Joburg or something. But yeah, interesting. I mean, the Springboks, everybody's still buzzing. I think we can't even stop talking about the Springboks. 100%. Our hashtags are all about the Springboks.
Everything.
Everything is about the Springboks.
Everything is about the box, man. You can't hate.
But we've always got other news, obviously.
Definitely. I think let's just kickstart with, do you know that on the 28th of October, it marked a year since Elon acquired Twitter.
On the 28th of October, yeah.
So I think that's when the interest was happening and all those kind of things. But the final pull the trigger moment happened this year.
That's interesting. So if he's been around at Twitter for a year, I think I see here we've got some stats around what he's achieved since then.
Yeah, which I think is a lie.
Why do you think it's a lie? Because the first one is quite bogus.
It's bogus. Like I've been on Twitter for the longest time, meaning that I've been dealing with these numbers internally, and they would say we mustn't share these numbers. Yeah, I understand. But those numbers were always around. Like when you look at they wouldn't want to look at daily active users because they were low. Yeah. And when you look at monthly active users, that's what they would post. It was around 285 million monthly active users, right? That's globally.
Sure.
Right?
Oh, globally?
Globally.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in Mzansi at the time, Nigeria had more numbers than South Africa in terms of active users. I think Mzansi was sitting around 9 million something.
Okay, at the
somewhere
time.
around there, yeah. But we can still find out those numbers. It's quite easy with
see if
with Brand Waja.
Of course. You can always pull these results. It'll be interesting to see though how many monthly active users are there in South Africa. But we're saying here 550 million active monthly users since Elon took over. You're saying that's a growth.
That's a lie.
It's a lie, but it's a growth.
Bogus. It's a massive growth. It's like double what it used to be like during Jack's days.
Sure, yeah.
And you wouldn't have multiplied that by 2 when you were struggling to even get advertisers at some point.
But now, since he's added paid premium subscriptions, that's a whole different game, right?
It did change things. So it does show there that since they launched the ad revenue, the sharing ad revenue share, they've already paid creators around $20 million.
That's quite a lot.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah. That's so interesting. I mean, I was reading an article during the week and Elon was basically saying that he wants all our, the whole globe to use Twitter or X rather, to have their banking information on there basically, to transact on there for everything and anything. just like the WeChat we talked about.
Sure,
But yeah,
sure.
really interesting. Said that he's paid over 20 million US dollars to creators, and we did say that 550 million
monthly active users.
and we have 500 million plus posts published globally
That have
every
went
day.
out globally.
Yeah,
Every day. Every day there's okay, maybe that I can agree with.
for
right?
sure.
But
Yeah,
there's over 500 million plus.
because we see quite a lot of tweets just in South Africa
here in
generally.
Mzansi, 7 million in Mzansi. And Mzansi is one of the lowest in the world.
Oh yeah,
And
definitely.
in the US, it's probably, we can check that actually, Brandwatch. The US is probably massive numbers a day.
Oh yeah, they definitely must be quite big. I mean, we're also
Yeah.
seeing 100 billion plus impressions globally every single
Mhm.
day
Mhm.
on the X platform. And we obviously talked about, you know, the major focus, there is also a major focus on video content now
Sure.
on the platform, which is great. You know, we're able to watch videos. We've seen long videos posted on
Long
YouTube,
form.
movies.
Yeah, you can watch movies on Twitter
Yeah.
now. But it's crazy because when they had predictions, right? Audio was like the upcoming. Getting old
It's
now.
getting old. But I won't lie, video was bigger
yeah.
than audio.
Sure.
And audio became bigger when podcasting became very
Yes,
mainstream.
then Clubhouse.
Yeah.
Then, yeah.
Yeah. Since Elon took over a year ago. Other news is that
We're the champions
We're the
of the world,
champions.
man.
Springboks
We're the
won.
world champions.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, we're just covering the big news here. So we obviously started with just the X platform, but now we won the Rugby World Cup for the fourth time in a
We're 2 times
Oh yeah,
champions.
2-time champs. Yeah, and,
In a row, my man.
and if you don't know, Siya Kolisi is the best.
Madiba. That guy is proper deeps.
Definitely.
No, there's Mandela and then you get Sia.
Then Siya.
I'm not ranking them like saying this one.
Yeah.
No. I'm saying there's Mandela and then there's
Then there's Siya, yeah.
he'll
And,
be remembered.
oh yeah, definitely. And for those who don't know the score, we beat New Zealand by 12-11.
Mm.
What a difficult score. But really, really amazing. Definitely check out the tours South Africa will be going around. I know for creators, if you're a creator, if you're a marketer, I think this is the
Sure.
perfect time for you to latch on to such a thing. Because I know from my side as a photographer, videographer, podcaster, I could easily go into so many places, use the win of the Springboks because it's huge marketing. I mean,
Yeah, I saw
every
some
brand is
people,
going to grab onto it.
some guy actually, the ANC guy, that guy that was booted out of it's and the Stellenbosch Mafia, how they're gonna benefit from the box winning.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like, I do not care. If I was also gonna benefit, I would use it to my advantage. You know what I'm
Definitely.
saying? So if they have deals that rely on the Springboks, good on them. They must make those deals and sign those deals. We mustn't now be bitter because they're making money.
No, there's no way. I mean, it is what it is, and I think there's an opportunity for everybody
For
to make a
everyone.
plan. Yeah, South Africa has won the World Cup. Do you understand it? Like that's huge.
That's massive, bro. Last one is my favorite. Actually, we have a guest
On the show,
on the show.
a new guest.
A new guest.
Please, can you bring out the new guest?
Hey, come on. Hey,
Come la. It's quite heavy, isn't it?
who's this?
Issue.
Huh?
Hey, let me hold it.
Huh?
This is,
Fella, I should address you different now. You are not Umshuti Wabashu.
I'm not Mshuti
You are a
Wabashuti.
rising star.
A rising
Eh?
star.
You are
Yeah.
a champion.
For those who
of
haven't seen the
Mzansi.
trophy, this is what it looks like actually.
Yeah, yeah.
Looks pretty dope. I mean, feels very heavy too.
It is heavy.
Yeah.
It's proper metal, eh?
Yeah.
I
definitely
think
wanna
break
put
it down. Why did you get this? Like, what happened? Did they pick you out from the streets and you danced and they gave you a trophy?
Yeah, so basically what happened, and I think everybody should take notice of this, Rising Star or TransUnion and BlackBuck and a couple of other companies have come together to say that they're going to honor people in different professions. And
Yeah.
and by honoring them, they're calling them rising stars and future stars. And from what I've seen, some of the previous winners are executives. But yeah, you basically get nominated. Not for the show, sorry, for the awards, and then you go through a process of getting picked, and then they narrow it down to like I think 5 people per category. So I'm in the media and advertising category. That's the one I won.
It's too clean,
It's
man.
too clean, bro.
Way too clean.
Yeah, so there were 12 winners on the night, and I was one of the winners in my category. There were 5 people in my team, and we had to do a case study on the spot and answer a few questions. Nothing out of the world. I think they were just looking for how I present stuff, And so I would encourage everybody else who wants to be a rising star and you think you are a rising star to actually enter this. I'm sure next year they'll be doing it. And you can also be part of the celebrations. And I mean, there were big brands like Sage.
I saw Train. It's massive. Rising Star is massive.
It's pretty huge. And I mean, the people that were there, the caliber people that were there, they were corporate, literally CEOs. And, and let me tell you something, from LinkedIn, it's booming because that's exactly the people they
everything I see on LinkedIn now is like rising star, finalist this, finalist that, winners.
And you must understand, some of the judges are CEOs, are executives in certain companies, and they make certain decisions. So, and a lot of poaching happens on there. So you know, the BMW guys, maybe from Sasol, they poach each other there. So it's a huge opportunity. And for somebody like me in the photography field, you probably think I wouldn't be in such a field, but it was there for Color Space, basically, and what we do in Color Space.
Color Space is bigger than you think, guys. Color Space is a whole award. When are we going on tour with this award? We need to so you must write down when we go. We'll touch Limpopo.
Yes.
So the Limpopo people will go to Limpopo, Mpumalanga, all the provinces that are neglected. Don't worry, you're gonna touch a rising star.
You're gonna touch the rising star trophy.
And then we're gonna end off at Villagaz.
Sponsored by Heineken, sponsored by whoever.
By my teams.
Yeah, bro, but thank you for the victory. I think, you know, this is not for me. This is literally for everybody else that works hard at Color Space, including yourself, bro. I kept on saying when I took the first trophy to family, I was like, you know, this is not only about me, it's about everybody else who's been around at Color Space and worked so hard at Color Space, because they might have awarded Cyril Zuma, but I'm just the face. But it's the work that we do at Color Space. And once again, just to remind you, Color Space is the sponsor of this podcast.
Color Space has a lot of money, guys. It's sponsored us to be here.
Yeah, for sure, bro.
Should we get into it?
Yeah, let's get into it. I mean, we've definitely done the news. And now let's talk about the top trending hashtags. And I believe the top trending hashtags are just all about rugby.
All of. Number one, Rugby World Cup final. So there's two number ones, right? Because it's the same thing. The other one just has 2023. The other one doesn't, right? Okay. The first one is hashtag Rugby RWC final, right? And the second one is RWC 2023.
Which we've always had. The RWC 2023 always used to show up in our stats.
100%. So I think let me treat them separately. So that means I'll give us 6 hashtags. Sure. So Rugby World Cup final got 162,000 tweets, right? And then with 1.4 billion impressions. Gee. That's one. And then Rugby World Cup 2023 got 127,000 mentions and 1.5 billion impressions. So I combined them to create a number one.
Sure, yeah.
Which is something I've never seen before in my life.
Yeah, I mean, this is the same thing, basically. Yeah. They literally trended 1 and 2, but it's better to put them together for the
It's the same thing. It's not like New Zealand was also playing. No, New Zealand was playing. What's the other one? England and
Argentina.
So losers. Yeah, the so losers.
Third place.
Third place. Yeah. Oh, third place. Yeah,
but
bronze.
They didn't train.
Bronze is not as shiny as gold. So when they all put together Rugby World Cup final and Rugby World Cup 2023, it's 289,000 tweets. Which means the billions, the impressions is 2.9 billion
when you combine them. Yeah. I mean, look, we don't have obviously the amount of people, and some people question the impressions thing. You know, impressions that you could be seeing the hashtag over and over, and you could see the same hashtag. You keep scrolling. That's the hashtag you're seeing it, and that's an impression. Those are huge numbers for the Rugby World Cup, and rightly so, bro. Literally, the whole world stopped. I know you and I tried to go watch the World Cup together.
I got bounced.
You got bounced.
I got bounced.
At your big age, you got bounced.
Oh, man, at my big age. I've been going around in circles. So I tried to park. I'm like, okay, let me walk in now, because I tried to go to Monty first. It was packed. I was like, nah. I'm not about crowds. Then you're like, no, pull up somewhere else. Pulled up somewhere else. They closed the gate. They were like, hey. I was like, damn, the last time I was bounced, I think I was in high school.
Yeah, but luckily you were close to home and you still watched the final. But yeah,
I managed to walk back home, which is good. Number 2.
So it's not rugby.
Springboks. Ah, you think rugby will trend without a spring? In fact, they changed. It's no longer a Springbok. It's a goat.
Oh, it's a goat now.
Because we are the goats, right?
Yeah, we're definitely the goats after this.
Yeah. So Springboks got 101,000 mentions and 1.5 billion impressions.
I mean, Springboks itself is a huge brand, and it's so nice to see the hashtag Springboks stand out on its own as a brand entity
As
on
a
its
brand,
own.
yeah.
And it's trending number 2 in South Africa, which is pretty huge. I mean, we've had it before in our stats, but never so high up. And it's testament to the win, dude. We saw how everybody did. But yeah, please give us the next hashtag.
Yeah, I think Dr. Who's that doctor? That bogus one?
You can't call him a
Dr.
doctor.
Lin.
It's Matthew.
Matthew.
It's Matthew.
Oprah Matthew.
Yeah,
Oprah Matthew is going to be getting a lot of patience because, hey, for 3 weeks straight, these Springboks have been stressing.
God.
To New Zealand, that final, we were reaching. Those boys were going in, eh?
See, I was strapped up for days. You could see he was like, look, Matthew might just have some exciting stuff. And I mean, no, just to digress a little bit, we saw that he got arrested and released.
He got arrested and released. What fuckery is that, bro?
Yeah,
sorry for my language, but I don't understand what is happening.
Yeah, neither do I. But luckily for us, he hasn't been in our trending topics, but he is a topic that is quite happening on Twitter right now. Yeah. But anyway, let's move on from that because
let's move on. That's negativity right there. Negativity in a human form.
We don't need that for sure.
We don't need that energy. So positivity. There's a brand hashtag that made it to the top 3.
Yes, and this is run by DSTV, right?
DSTV, like they just keep. It's like they have the best practice Bible in front of their computers. Every time they do whatever, they just create magic.
Yeah, they get it right.
Props to DSTV.
Yeah, they definitely get it right.
Super Sport, actually,
Super
not
Sport.
DSTV. Super Sport.
Okay, so this is by Super Sport itself.
Super Sport.
Interesting. So what is the hashtag?
Stronger Together.
Hashtag
Everybody
Stronger
thinks
Together.
it's a Springboks hashtag, but it's a
Super Sport.
a Super Sport hashtag, which is amazing.
Definitely a Springbok thing, but it's and how they found a way to put it together. I don't think they use this only in rugby. They surely use it even, or do they only use it in rugby?
Yeah, I see it in rugby most do you
of
think
the
it would
time.
work for Bafana?
Yeah, I've never seen it for Bafana, but maybe for the cricket, I mean, it would be interesting to see because we are hopefully going to get to the final. And Ramizi said he's going to go to the final in India if South Africa
Who's
gets
Ramiz? Oh,
yeah, our the one who gave us a holiday on the 15th.
This guy, he delayed our holiday.
What
I was
holiday?
expecting it yesterday. I was expecting a holiday yesterday.
For sure, but it was so tricky because, you know, just listening to people speaking in the political space, just talking about how difficult it would be to institutionalize a holiday just like that in South Africa. One is the 15th isn't recurring, but it would be a huge constitutional something, you know, to be quite a lot to actually have it recurring. So yeah, interesting.
But they can loot money and it's recurring.
Yeah, after since '94. Let's keep it moving.
Anyways, man, before we get into the Queen, Stronger Together got 67,000 mentions and 555 million impressions.
Jeez, okay.
That's DSTV. That's Super
Sport, yeah.
Organically.
And they do. Look, shout out to them, honestly, because on their way to put themselves.
And it works so nicely.
Very well. And people are using that hashtag, especially
100%.
brands are using that hashtag quite a lot. But yeah, interesting. Hashtag Stronger Together coming in at number 4 or number 3 in South Africa.
Sure. Number 4, Khositwala with 38,000 mentions and 224 million impressions. The Queen herself.
I mean, I'm sure she's still...
Even amongst all the rugby noise, the Queen is there, standing strong.
Even amongst the stuff going on in Gaza.
The Queen is there, standing strong.
Oh, she's doing really well. Shout out to you, Khosi. Keep pushing your stuff.
Yeah.
I know that you got an ambassador search right now.
She was in Pretoria this past week. And man, I think it was students from TUT, if not UP. They were showing love. She pulled up in a red Audi. They were showing love.
Oh, she pulled up in a 4-door Audi. Yeah.
Hey,
shout out to
tweets.
I hope Audi's
Oh, they
jumping
were
onto
posting.
this. I know it sounds like, not everything deserves that, but I mean,
Audi, jump onto it. It's late now, but maybe they can offer her something.
I think they definitely should.
They should.
She's been trending
Yeah.
in our trending topics.
Trend
No.
from January to December without a scandal.
Yeah, and organically, like they're just they're just moving every week. We don't report monthly; we report weekly, and every week she's there.
Every week she's there.
But yeah, shout out to Khosi. I believe we have another hashtag, which obviously
it doesn't align to our positive energy that we have today. It's hashtag Gaza with 19,000 mentions and 97 million impressions. I believe the war is still happening there. And hey man, we're rooting for the humans.
Yeah. I mean, we're seeing a lot of deaths, and it's really becoming traumatizing because, when I look at so platforms like Twitter and Facebook, I worry because there's a lot of politics used amongst that. And for me, I'm not that I'm insensitive to what's happening there, but I'm seeing way too many images. It feels like it's an agenda of some sort. By certain newspapers. But yeah, Gaza has been going on amongst this rugby, amongst all the positivity. There's been some stuff going on. And we definitely will keep reporting on Gaza. But hashtag Gaza definitely did come in at number 5 in South Africa in the top trending hashtag. So it's still a very touchy topic.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're definitely going to move on from that. I believe we have another deep dive, but we would prefer somebody else to tell us a bit better.
Yeah, that's why I say let's ignore that one because it's a bit up in the air.
It's up in the air.
Yeah, and it's a bonus one, by the way.
Yeah, but I mean, let's give it to them and see the stats, and maybe some people can tell us. Yeah. So, hashtag Ripple.
Yeah. Hashtag Ripple managed to get, like, out of all this noise, 13,000 mentions and 65,000 impressions.
Sure. Okay, so it definitely got in there. If you know what the hashtag Ripple stands for, I definitely think it's got to do with Bitcoin. It's got to do with crypto stuff.
And all those things.
It's always coming up.
Yeah, that cult on Twitter with the NFT guys.
The NFT guys are too much. But let's jump onto the tweet volume and amount of users from last week, Libs. So in terms of the amount of tweets, last week we saw 7.4 million, which is an 8% increase from the previous week. So a lot of people are tweeting. Definitely got to do with sports.
Sure.
And in terms of the authors, we're seeing an 18% decrease with 98,000 people tweeting last week. So that's quite a big decrease itself. I do believe that obviously some people might not have been active. Bots are getting removed.
Yeah. But there's a lot of tweets, eh?
There's a lot of tweets, but from less people tweeting this week. So yeah. Interesting. I know that I'm one of the people that tweeted less.
There were multiple tweets because of the box.
Of the box, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure most people were watching the weekend. If you're active on Twitter, you probably tweeted about the Springboks like 10 or 20 times.
Yeah, you were averaging 20 or something.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
True.
But yeah, that's definitely the tweet volume and amount of users from last week. And then, should we touch on the sentiment of the country, or would you like to go on to?
Let's get into the sentiment, and then we'll do the most mentioned Twitters.
Okay. So, in terms of the sentiment of the country, we're seeing a 4% increase in terms of the negative. But we have a huge increase, which is 10% on a positive.
Woo!
So good, definitely so good.
And December is approaching. People are getting 10% increases.
Yeah, bonuses are coming very, very soon. But yeah, that's the sentiment of the country. So it is a bit of a balance between the negative and the positive. But I think we love seeing the positive in the country. And the positive, by the way, is very much over 1 million tweets. And we sometimes don't get it. So sometimes it's about 750,000. And this time it's over 1 million. So there's a lot of positivity going on.
Okay. That's interesting, my man. And I'm loving that. I'm loving the positivity in the country.
For sure.
Let's keep it up there.
For sure. I mean, when we look to, just to go back in terms of like last week, in terms of the tweets, amount of tweets and the users, we basically seeing less people tweeting.
Wow.
But those people obviously published more than 1 million posts in that previous week. And then obviously the Rugby World Cup, the hashtag rwcfinal, with the expected accounts really going wild, which is the rugby itself. There's at Springboks and at Rugby World Cup were like the biggest tweeters quite a lot in the previous week. Yeah.
Wow.
And then, yeah, I think in terms of the notes here, we're looking at the unofficial ministers of SA Black Twitter.
So are we gonna? So you have Springboks and rugby, right?
Yes.
Those are number 1 and 2.
Yes.
So number 1, do you wanna know how many times it got mentioned?
Please actually tell me.
It got mentioned 82,000 times.
Oh, sure. In last
the
week,
Springboks got mentioned over 82,000 times.
And at Rugby World Cup?
At Rugby World Cup, it's 59,000 times.
59,000 times.
Yeah. And the impressions for Springboks, 610 million impressions.
Yeah.
And rugby, 355 million impressions.
Please give us one of the most mentioned people on Twitter last week.
Yes, at Berry.
At
At Berry, he managed to scoop. He was mentioned 29,000 times.
Okay.
With 319 million impressions.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, he's the unofficial minister of SA Black Twitter, and obviously, he's huge on clickbaiting and stuff like that.
Sure, he's a clickbaiter of note.
Oh yeah, amongst his friend Chris Excel, and obviously, we talked about PMC Africa, which we did say that he's not really on that vibe, but
he's good.
Yeah, for sure. And then we saw Jack on Hinkle. I think that's
Jackson Hinkle. Yeah.
So, I mean, Jackson Hinkle, I believe, is an American political commentator. And he got a lot of engagement on his Israel and Palestine. Much pro-Palestine. Yeah, so please could you give us the stats for that?
So for Jackson Hinkle, he got 27,000 mentions and 55 million impressions.
Jeez, okay, so then please give us the stats. And
the prize.
Yeah, and he's in here for various reasons.
Ubaba got 22,000 mentions, so he was mentioned over 22,000 times. I think people were requesting a holiday.
Definitely they were. Definitely.
And he got over 228 million impressions.
Yeah, definitely he was trending for the holiday. South Africans wanted that. And of course, just being a president, being, he used the PR quite a lot.
And shout out to him. Like as a president, he got 2 World Cups.
Quite well,
I don't know,
yeah.
He probably didn't contribute much, but shout out to him, man. We should give him props sometimes.
For sure, I definitely think we should. I mean, Libs, I think I'm definitely going to cut it there in terms of the amount of people that we mentioned. I want us to move to the busiest day. And we're seeing that, obviously, last week it was Sunday.
So the most active day, as we know, Sunday. Last week was Saturday, and it got 1.3 million posts. Never seen that.
It's the first time we definitely see that. We did say last week was Saturday, yeah.
Yeah, last week, but I think it was 1.2. We were also impressed.
Yeah.
Because weeks before, we were like, yo, we haven't seen a million. It's always just under a million.
Yeah.
And then it was followed by Saturday. Of course, Saturday got 1.2.
Okay, so he got back to his defaults as normal.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, look, the game was on Saturday, so people were tweeting on Saturday. Then it just fell over to Sunday. Sunday being the biggest day to conversate about the Springboks winning 100%. Properly when we're not all out there drinking. But yeah, Friday was also one, then followed by Friday. So Sunday, Saturday.
This predominantly was Springboks, as we know, but also the public holiday.
Yeah.
People were asking questions, so it was, hey, Springboks won, we want a public holiday.
Yeah, we definitely need a public holiday. But really interesting. I mean, we looked at the busiest day. Can we look at the busiest hour, which
busiest followed by 11 p.m. That is new.
That is very new, yeah.
That was full time.
At 11
when
p.m. Yes.
That was 11
And then
PM.
it was people were.
Then it was
Definitely. I think, the reason why 10 p.m. is even known on there is everyone was still stressing and holding their fingers.
We won. So it was epic, man. It was epic. I really like that. But in the morning, we still have 9 a.m. followed by 10 a.m.
Okay. So still good times. Again, for marketers, I mean, I think it still would make sense. It'll be interesting to see after the Rugby World Cup where the busiest hour and busiest day. see that. I mean, unless it's offset by sports or something else.
Sure.
But yeah, so that's the busiest day. That's the busiest hour. And of course, emoji of the week is still the loudly crying face. It's another win for the loudly crying face.
It's another win for the crying face. Makalanjalo.
Yeah.
But it's results, right? Where it's more around tears of joy more than anything.
Oh, yeah. And we know people definitely use tears of joy in so many different ways. But yeah, another win for tears of joy, or loudly crying face rather. I'm seeing here it got 227,000 tweets.
So yeah, it got around 410.
Yeah.
But it was used in 410,000 tweets.
Okay, that's quite a lot.
That got 3.9 billion impressions.
Sure.
But then we have other ones that actually made it to the top 10.
Which we never see, right?
That we never see. Like, we've never seen this before. Because of the Rugby World Cup, there's a South African flag there with 240,000 mentions.
Nice.
And then also the trophy.
Which we won.
The gold one, not the bronze one. Bronze medal. With 78,000 mentions.
For the trophy.
Uses of of that emoji. Yeah.
Really interesting. I mean, yeah, we haven't seen the South African flag come up in our top 5 or top 10 or the trophy at all come up, and now it definitely has come up. So that's definitely much honorable mentions from those two. Definitely shout out to the Springboks. And then we got Brand of the Week. We got 2 options for this one. I think we should definitely give it to both of them.
Both of them deserve it.
Yeah, I think they definitely do.
Sure. Number 1, we already touched on this with
all these games.
Young Twala. So a lot of people didn't know it was, and the most amazing thing about it is that it's organic.
Yeah, it's definitely organic.
It's organic, and it managed to grow legs. And I think that's how we now identify the box. We identify them with that hashtag.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because it shows people of different walks of life, different races, that when we come together, we create an explosion. Not an explosion, but a win.
It's the second week you say this. But I mean, look, yeah, we're definitely not being insensitive. But yeah, shout out to hashtag Stronger Together, and shout out to not DSTV, but Super Sports, which is their campaign. But yeah, it really has been interesting. And I mean, let me jump on to the second one, which
number
is
2.
Take a Lot on Samsung, but mainly it's Take a Lot. So I believe that they had a campaign which is called BackTheBuck campaign. So Take a Lot promised full refunds of Samsung TVs if the Poker won. So in the beginning, there were about, I think, 867 TVs.
Damn.
To say that if you buy this TV and the box win, we'll give you a full refund.
What?
So 867 people who bought certain Samsung TVs. This? Same here, right? I wish I knew. But again, it's the having faith in your team.
This was betting. Actually.
Yeah, this is betting.
This is betting.
Yeah, and the TV,
and you win a TV.
The TVs weren't also that cheap, but 867 people bought these TVs, and now Take a Lot is going to be refunding those people back since the box won the World Cup, and they're going to be refunding more than 10 million in terms of value in their refunds. And so shout out to them for being a good brand of the week and actually living up to their word. Yeah, for being a good sport. And so I hope that nobody has problems in getting their money just like they promised. Definitely. Yeah. So shout out to these 2 brands, Super Sport and Take a Lot Samsung, for the great work that they've done.
Nice, amazing work, guys, and you'll be getting trophies very soon. We are on tour next week with this one.
Definitely, we'll be on tour for this one. If you see us, make sure you give us a shout out. It is Spaza Talk, and this is obviously for Color Space. Make sure you give us a shout out. But Libs, that's everything for the week.
It's everything for the week. But who's the sponsor again?
Color Space.
Color Space.
The same guys that definitely won this trophy. But yeah, guys, on the real, make sure that you check out www.colorspace.co.za. It is a platform, stock photo platform, where you can submit your photos and start earning some money. And everybody loves some money. I definitely love some money, so I'm definitely going to keep submitting some photos onto there. And again, we're going to keep on winning trophies, so please support us, support the winning team. And of course, I want to say thank you to Brandwatch.
Thanks, Brandwatch. If it wasn't for you, getting this, we were gonna thumbs up all of this.
For sure, yeah, definitely we're gonna thumbs up. And then I also want to give a ghost shout out to our podcast writer. We've got a ghost podcast writer.
We've got a ghost podcast writer. Can we give out the name?
No, I don't think yet. I think he
writer?
must stay a ghost. He must stay a ghost until he decides he wants to show his face.
He wants to show up, yeah. But he's an amazing,
yeah, an amazing dude, a close friend of ours too.
Yeah,
and he's
joined the team
for sure. Yeah,
it's now 3 of us running the show,
Sure.
which is getting much easier for us because we love sharing this with all of you.
Oh yeah,
you know?
definitely.
Yeah.
And the way he's helped us structure the podcast. Views will definitely show, so make sure you click the like, you click the subscribe button, and if you're listening on Spotify or Apple,
or they can use the emoji, the loudly crying face
face
emoji.
emoji, yeah.
Then we'll know you got to this part of the podcast.
Thank you. Please actually do that.
Yeah.
And make sure, guys, that you hit the subscribe again, like I said, and the like button. And if you're listening on Spotify and you're listening on Apple, hit the follow button and hit the bell icon, so that you can receive notifications every time we drop a podcast, because we got sauce every single week, bro.
We got sauce, boy.
And trust me, next week these stats will have changed and things will be much saucier. But yeah, that is it for me, Umshuti Obashuti, aka the award-winning Cyril Zuma,
the rising
the
star.
rising star 2023.
Mr. R. He's
a bit, yeah. But from me, thank you so much, guys. Thank you for listening to the episode. I will definitely check you guys next week, Libs.
Ciao.
Introducing Color Space, a stock photo platform dedicated to showcasing images of Black people. Whether you're a professional photographer or you just know your way around a smartphone, sign up, submit your photos, and start earning through your creativity. Visit www.colorspace.co.za.